Hello, welcome again. It's good to see all of you. As usual, I thank God for this opportunity for me to be here to share all this knowledge He has given us, the rules and law He has instilled in this life for us to live by. Now, again, I want you to share these videos to people who are close to you, to your loved ones. And the interesting thing I've noticed about people is that everyone has an opinion. They want to say things, but they have no idea what they're talking about. Now, this is part two, three, and continuous series I'm trying to do in regards to why do we have the breakdown in society, children, and also marriage. Okay, so children, marriage, and society. Why are we where we are today? Um, so we because why? Because we think we know more than the creator. It's imagine this that you bought a car and you are complaining about the car. It's a brand new, let's say a brand new Tesla, right? And you're giving opinion, well, I could have done this better. I could have a better design for the wheel, or I could have had a better design for the steering wheel, or a better design for the dashboard. So you're giving your opinion about how they could have improved or made this vehicle better. But the question I have for you is this. These people have expert professionals who's been in the business or the industry for many years designing vehicle, and they know pretty much all the background knowledge to design this vehicle that you have just purchased. So it wasn't something they just threw up on the drawing board and said let's go for it, because they have certain principles and certain law and safety issues they have to take into account when they are designing a vehicle, because they know that the public safety is at risk depending on how well they manufacture their vehicle. So, but as human beings, we all have an opinion how they could have designed this vehicle better, right? We all have that. Or they could have made the seat this way, they could have made the seat that color, or I mean, we just have tons of opinion. But the question is that I'm asking you, where are you getting your facts from to say this is better? Where are you getting that from? Do you have 20 years of experience working in the motor vehicle industry, designing, test driving, and to see how this vehicle maneuver during different conditions? Have you had that experience? Do you understand what it takes to design a vehicle? Do you have that knowledge? And the answer is no, unless you actually design these type of vehicle. So this is an illustration is how we give opinion on something so simple as the seat, the way it's designed. We have an opinion. But when it comes to our lives, what really matters, we all want to do it our way, and we are none, basically, are expert in what we're talking about. You have girlfriends, male friends, they're giving you advice on children, they're giving you advice in marriage, they're giving you advice how the government should be ran, why they did this and that. But the question is, it's your opinion. And that you have to ask yourself, am I right in my opinion? Am I right? Today I was speaking to one of my best close friends, and his name is Stan, and we were discussing about children. And the point we came up with is this. Why do the children look like they do today? Why? I tell you why. Because you decide to raise your child your way. You decided. And if you look, most parents, if they could, if they could go back, they would have these children. A lot of parents, these children are a nightmare for them. Literally a nightmare. And some of them wish they never had any children. And there are people today who don't want children. And there are people who are suffering day in, day out because of these children. Some parents are being even verbally and physically abused by their own children. And I remember growing up, and this was the first time I've ever saw this. I actually saw one of my friend hit his parent, and that was the mother. And the way he spoke to his mother, it just I couldn't believe it. It was just something that I've never seen in my entire life as a child growing up. It simply did not exist, but it did. I saw that was the first time. So I know what it looks like when you have a child, and as a parent, you are terrified from this child. As far as being in a classroom, I have heard parents who actually told the teachers that, please talk to my daughter. And then the teacher was giving feedback, and she told the teacher, if I did what you are recommending me to do, my daughter would beat me up. I would have to call the police on my daughter. And this was a ninth grade, probably a 13, 14, between 14 and 15-year-old child. So there are parents are literally are captive in their own home. They're being held as hostage where they are not the parent. The child is the parent, and they dictate how this parent is going to function in this household. The child is running the house. How many of you, your child is running the house? How many of you, you are afraid to confront your child? How many of you are like that? And how many of you dread the day you brought this child into the world? And there's a reason why you have that particular child. There's a reason. And we will get to that as we go on with this series that I'm putting together for you to understand. So the first thing is we need to understand is, where did I go wrong? And as my very first video, I mentioned information. If you do not have the right information, your life is basically going to be a nightmare. There's going to be a lot of regret, shame, and some of you would feel like you want to commit suicide. Why? Because you're living in a life that is a nightmare. You never thought this is what was going to happen to you, but it did. How did you get there? You got there because you decided that you knew more than God, or you didn't want to know anything about the law God has placed in this world. For example, what do I mean by the law? There are certain laws, for example, gravity law, right? If you jump out of a building, you're going to get hurt or even die. You know if you throw something up in the air, it's going to come down and hit you. These are laws God put in this world. We can understand the gravity, we can understand the physical part of it, but we decided not to understand the spiritual part that He placed in this world. And to understand that in more depth is you need to understand what you are. You are a three-part being, ladies and gentlemen. You are a three-part. It is said that, one, when God is creating a human being, there's three people that's involved in creating a human being. The Father, the Mother, and God. Three people. And there are three parts to the person as well. So you have the body, the flesh that is created by the husband and wife, and it's called the seed. The man implant his seed into the woman to create the physical body, which is the vessel. The physical body is the vessel that the father and the mother provides. Then God, remember the father and mother, and God, which is the third part of this creation of this child, He input the soul into this child. And then after that, there's another part which is called the image of God. Think about the image of God like a force field that goes around your body, in the shape that protects you, that gives you the image of God over a human being. And it also said, when a person is holy, animals are terrified of a human being. Why are they terrified of the human being? Because they see the image of God on that person. So when they see that person, they flee immediately. And that's referring to a religious individual. When an animal attacks a human being, it's because the image of God has been removed from that person. It's been removed. And now that animal does not see the image of God. He sees you as another animal. That's what he sees. That's why he attacks you, because he sees another animal. He's not seeing a human being. This is one of the reasons why people get attacked by animals, because they're not seeing a spiritual holy person. They don't see the holiness or the image of God on that person is why they attack you, because you are nothing more than another animal, right? And this is what's going on when you see a human being being attacked. So to get back to that, so there's three people involved in creating the body, the human being, and then you have God, of course, that has three parts that He puts into the human being, which is again the body. Then you have the soul, and then you have the image of God. Now, in the process, when someone is dying, you there's a process that happens first before the person actually leaves this world. So you have the first thing that leaves um, is the image. It says 30 days before this person going to die. Listen carefully. You may be completely healthy, you're running the street, you're living your life, but you're not aware of this. You're living your life, you're going to work, you're healthy. I mean, you just perfect health. You went to the doctor, you have a clean bill of sale that you are perfect, a stamp of the doctor on your certificate. But you don't realize your image, the image of God, has left you. But you don't know it, you don't feel it. Now, people who are spiritually really have it, spiritually can feel that, but the image of God has left you. That's the first thing that leaves when you're going to die. Then, once that has happened, and then let's say you get into the accident or you're in your deathbed, your soul slowly start to leak out. Think about a flat tire, a tire going slowly, losing air. This is what's happening to your soul. Your soul is being leaked out from the body. Listen to me carefully. It's leaking out from the body. And this is why when you are with people who are dying, they will tell you, I see other dead people. They will tell you that. They will tell you people that who have died, they've seen them. Because why? The soul is on its way out. So because the body is actually a prison. That's what the body is. It's a prison where the soul is contained, and the body blocks the soul to be able to see the spiritual world. But because the body is dying, the soul is seeping out slowly. Now that person is able to see the other side, or the world that he's going to be going to, the spiritual world. Okay? So that's why when you hear people saying that I see dead people, it's because the soul is leaking out of the body and they're about to leave this world. So the question is now, when you understand that we are three-part component as being, so you understand the image and the soul has to play a role in this physical world. Your body is nothing more than a vessel. It is a vessel that holds the soul that came into this world to do a specific job, because the soul can't be seen. It cannot touch, it's not physical. It can't move, maneuver. So it needs an avatar, if you will, a body for it to get into, to do certain specific thing that it was sent down into this world, and it needed a body for it to do what its purpose or mission is. So whatever the mission is, that soul needs a physical body to complete that mission. The problem is, of course, we don't know what the mission is, and the reason why we do not know what the mission is because we did not learn God ways. We did not read the book of life. What is the book? What is the purpose of the Bible? What the Bible is for? The Bible, ladies and gentlemen, is a manual. It's a manual to tell you how to live here. You have a mission, you have a purpose, but you need to understand the do's and don't, how to maneuver in this world. This is the body, and then you are spiritual, but in this physical world, you need to understand how the spiritual world works in this world. How do the spiritual world operates in this world? Because you are spiritual, but you are in this world. So you need to know how to operate in this world. And because people have no idea, they only can see the body. That's all they're seeing. And then, of course, the body has desires as well, ladies and gentlemen. It wants to eat. It wants to sleep. It wants to procreate. It wants pleasure. It wants joy. It wants. It's like the ego. It wants, or the id. It wants. You see the id want, like the id, they consider the id like the child. Like when you have a 3-year-old or 5-year-old, it doesn't care about anyone else. All it cares about himself. Whatever he says, whatever he sees, he's gonna want. He's gonna throw a tantrum if you don't give it to him, because that is the id that's operating in that child. It's all about me. It's not about anyone else. And if you think about it, most adults are like that. Most adults who do not have the word of God operate on the id. They operate on the id. Okay? Want. And if you look at, I'm sure a lot of you have been with men and women, and it was all about them. What you're looking at is the id. That's what you're looking at. You got it up close and a personal education of pain when the id is operating. That's what you got, a personal education of pain when the id, a person that has the id, the ego, and you got a personal 5 years of pain with that person because you got involved with someone that operate on the id and the ego, because it's all about me, it's my desires, what can you do to fulfill my desire? And it goes both ways for men and women. And these are the people I'm speaking about who have no idea why they are here. They're thinking this world is a vacation you live once, you come and enjoy, have barbecue, you go to the beach, you lay in the sun, you go to the clubs. It's a party. This world is not a place of party. This world is a place where you have to come here because there's a specific task, a specific purpose that you have to complete before you exit this world. So when you get caught up in the physical world, and then you've listened to all these people, especially like the liberals who want you to think, there's only one life, enjoy it, you can do whatever you want to do, and nothing going to happen to you. Wrong. If you look at your life, think about what I'm going to say. Are you happy? Are you happy? Do you have everything that you wanted? Do you have everything that these liberals telling you you're supposed to have? Do you have those things? Are you happy with your children? Are you happy with your marriage? Are you happy with your neighbors, your friends, where you're living? Are you happy? Most people, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't even understand what that word is. You may get a moment of happiness, meaning that you ate a good steak and that happiness is gone. Do you stay happy? No. Do you feel content? No. Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel like your life has meaning? No. Because you're constantly thinking that the next endeavor is going to give you what you're looking for. The next desire, the next want is going to give it. You're thinking that new man is going to give it to you. That next woman going to give it to you. That next job, that next car, that next house, that next promotion is going to make you happy. All of those things that I mentioned and much, much more, the physical world is designed to do one thing and one thing only, to distract you. Its purpose is to make sure you stay ignorant until your last day on your deathbed. That's the purpose of these material world, to make sure you remain ignorant. I'm not saying for you not to enjoy it. Yes, you can enjoy it, but if you don't know why you're here and you don't understand the word of God, that's the poison. That is the poison of this world, is the illusion that this is what you came here to do, to have fun and enjoy. And if you look at people's life, and I've listened and seen many, many people, especially women, they will say, oh, just have fun, you're young, you can be with as many people as you want, be like a man, be like a dog, hump everything, touch everything, and then, become promiscuous. You can have as many boyfriends, you marry this one, and then you divorce this one, you can go marry the other one. Before you know it, by the time you're 60, you already have 100 husbands. And that's all you accomplished. You had 100 husbands and never once been happy. You had 100 boyfriends, never once been happy. You had 100, promiscuous, whatever you want to call it. You never been happy. You never felt complete. Because it is designed not for you to feel complete, but for you to give you a moment of pleasure, like a beast, like an animal. You perform like a beast, like an animal. You get your pleasure and it's over with, it's done. And what you just did was destroy yourself more than you could possibly imagine. It's like taking, for example, your first day of smoking, oh, you're coughing, right? Second day, a little bit less. Third day, a little less. And fourth day, fifth, and so on, you're used to it. After you used to cigarette, now you go to marijuana. After marijuana, you go to something stronger and stronger. Why? Because you want to keep that feeling and it cannot sustain. Because it cannot sustain, you're going to seek something more concentrated, more stronger for you to try to maintain that high. And ladies and gentlemen, there's no such thing. Because the purpose is eventually for you to kill your own self. The purpose is for you to die, and you are your own executioner. That's what you are. You are your own executioner. And if you listen to a lot of people on their deathbed, they have so many regrets. They would tell you they wish they could go back and undo so many things, but it's too late for them. Why is it too late for them? Because they never understood the purpose of life. They never understand what is this physical body is here for. What is it designed for? What is its mission? They were fooled by friends, of course, by the Satan, and by everyone else who's telling you the lefties, the liberals. They're telling you here to enjoy. I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, ask your friends. How many people do you know, do you personally, including yourself, happy? And don't tell me you're happy being alone, because that's a lie. Nobody is happy being alone. You have no choice. You have no choice but to say, I'm happy being alone. No one's going to say, oh, I'm unhappy being alone. So what's the next thing to say? Well, I'm happy being alone. Lie. Because if you were happy to be alone, you wouldn't even look for nobody else. You would just stay like that. I'm not interested. I'm happy. I'm going to die alone. And not only that, you would have never got married before. You would have never had children. None of those things would happen. You would not be a man with men, women with women. There is no such thing, because if you're happy being alone, that means there's nobody in your life, not even a dog, not even a cat. So you are a liar. You are lying to yourself. Being alone means completely isolated, being on an island. I don't need nobody. I'm on an island. Even that person is lying to themselves. Why? Because you were not designed to be alone. You were not designed. That is not the purpose of the creation. If God wanted you to be alone, he would not have created a woman, or he would not have created a man. He wouldn't have. What's the point? If I designed you to be alone, I don't need a woman. So I'm not going to create a woman into this creation. If I wanted the woman to be alone, I'm not going to create a man in this creation. And not only that, you're not going to have a desire for it either. You're going to be perfectly fine. So because you have the desire for another human body, of course, you have a lot of people who are twisted. They go get a woman and woman, man and man. Now eventually animals and humans. So all these people are twisted. So I'm not referring to those people. But it's just to prove my point that you were not designed to be alone. And because you need to understand what is your design, who the manufacturer is, what has he written that I'm supposed to do? How do I work? Just like how do your cell phone work? How do your new car work? How do you operate your new home? How do you operate anything? Even if you go on a job, you need to know what the job description is, so that way you know how to perform the duties, right? So anything that we get involved with, it's new, we need a manual to tell us how to operate it, right? So this world is one where there is a manual called the Bible, and most of us decide that I don't need this Bible, I'm throwing it out the window, I'm going to do it my way. Unfortunately, you paid a price, and there are some things in life, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot get back. I know you have people going to say it's never too late. That's a lie. There are many things in life that's too late. For example, let's say that your mother and father gave you up when you were a baby. Well, guess what? You never know what it feels like to be with your mother and father biologically. You may have been adopted, but with your real mother and father, you have no idea. And even if you did not have anyone at all, you were adopted or you were raised in there in some kind of home, different home, you've been moved around. Guess what? If you notice children like that who've been moved around from home to home, they have a horrible life. They can't connect with anyone. They cannot connect them because we were not designed to have that kind of life. That's the point I'm making. The life that you have lived, it's not part of the plan. It's not part of the plan. You made your life like that because you chose to do it your way. So whatever the outcome came is because you created that. Like they say, you made your bed, you sleep in it. And guess what? I don't know anyone who made their own bed actually enjoy sleeping on that bed. I don't know anybody. Because why? It doesn't exist. Because you're saying that I know more than God. This is why I'm choosing to throw his word to the garbage, to the side, and I'm going to do it my way. Well, what? Guess what? Look at your children, look at your life, and then, you're back on a dating scene, you hoping, you praying for God to give you this. I'm going to tell you something. It's sad to say, what you're expecting is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Why? Because it would have happened already. It would have happened already. Meaning that if that's how you thought when you were early in your 20s, 18, 19, 20s, and you had expectation, did it happen? No. Now you're in your 40s and 50s, did it happen? No. You run into all kind of people, did it happen? No. Ladies and gentlemen, it cannot and it will not happen because why? That's not the blueprint. It's like going to the beach, you want to ride the wave, but you want to ride the opposite direction. It's not going to happen. The wave's going to slam on you and destroy you. It's going to slam on you and destroy you because why? The wave goes in one direction, okay? That's why you're riding it, okay, towards the shore. So until we understand what this wave is, until you understand you're riding a wave called the Bible, and you need to get on it and ride in the right direction instead of going the opposite direction, the wave is going to crush you. It's going to crush your life. It's going to crush what you want out of life. It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this is information that we're working on part one. This was part two of bringing good children, having a good marriage, and then fixing what we've done wrong, if it's possible, or if it's not too late for some of you, and why our society has fallen apart, and why can't I be happy? Why can I be happy? Why can I get what I want to get in life? Because I have a specific goal, and I have a specific need, desire, want. Why cannot obtain these things? Why is it such a struggle? And we'll get more into that. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this information you need to share with other people, because it doesn't matter what you think, whether you like what I'm saying or not. It doesn't matter, because why? Just look at your life. Look at your life. Your life did not turn out that way because why? You had the wrong information and you utilized the wrong information, and this is what has happened to you because you were misinformed what you were created and why you are here. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm here to give you information so that way you can fix, adjust, even help your own children, grandchildren, not to make the mistake you made. It may have been too late for you, but guess what? It doesn't have to be too late for your child or your grandchildren. And the only way you can do that is by listening to these lectures and applying it to your life, and share this with your children. Sit home and having your children listen to this lecture and then talk about it. Because the more you talk about it, it's going to sink in. And I remember speaking to my people and my children, and they would bring up specific things that they said, Dad, I remember you said this. Or someone said, hey, Victor, I remember you said this. And they utilized that and they saw the truth in it. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to prove to you how to see what I'm telling you to be the truth, okay? So trust me, do this test. Whatever I'm speaking about, I want you to start looking for it in the world, meaning look at people. So if you heard me say something, start to look for it, and you're going to see it to be true. This is how you're going to know what I tell you to be true, because you're going to see it yourself. Not that I'm telling you, but this is the evidence you need to know so you can apply it to see what I'm telling you to be the truth. Look for this information as you interact with people day in and day out. You will see this to be the truth. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share. And I want you to, most important, apply this to your life. And to be honest with you, if you love your children, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to learn this information. You're going to learn this and teach it to your own children. And I do that. I do these videos as well for my children to be able to go back, my grandchildren as well, to go back and learn this, because there's not many people out there going to give you the truth to live in this world. This world is full of lies. They actually call this world the world of lies. That's the name of this world, the world of lies. Can you imagine that? You're living in a world that God calls the world of lies. So that means you're living in a place that's a lie. That's a lie. So what are your chances? What are your chances for you to succeed when you live in a world of lies? This is what this world is called. You see, you didn't even know that, right? So because it's called the world of lies, you cannot succeed. And the only way to succeed, you're going to need this information. So I want to thank you for joining me. Continue following, share, subscribe, and talk with this. Discuss this with your own children, because your children is living in a world of lies, in the world of lies. And the only way you can protect them is by sharing the truth. I thank you. God bless all of you, and I will see you next time. And this will be part 2. Have a good day. God bless.